All right, here we go. Tennessee Titans win total 8.5 over -135 last year. 9-7 straight up. 7-9 ATS. 10-5-1 to the over. Mainstream stats: 18 takeaways, 18 giveaways. Offense: 5.7 yards per play, 10th. 4.6 yards per rush, 4th. They're playing old school football there with run the ball with Murray and Henry. 7.4 yards per pass attempt, slightly above average. 28 sacks allowed. The defense: 5.5 yards per play allowed, right at the average. 88.3 QB rating allowed, average 40 sacks. That's in the top quartile there. Now listen, the top needs going in, wide receiver. Give Mariota some weapons. Now I know it was taking him high, but I love Corey Davis out of Western Michigan. They also took Adoree Jackson, the DB out of Southern Cal. Mariota's only going to get better. He had a terrific season last year. I'm high on this team. What did you think about what they did in the offseason?
Well, let me start with some of the stats that you went through, because we kind of brushed through some of those real quick. When you're talking about 18 takeaways for a season, that's what they had last year. They had only 18 giveaways. That's better than average. Mariota's been great in the red zone. We know about it. He doesn't make mistakes there. 18 takeaways, that's bottom quartile in the NFL. They finished with a turnover margin of 0, despite the fact that they basically didn't turn the ball over a whole lot. That's one area where they really wanted to improve. Last year, they didn't have a single receiver gain more than 1,000 yards. But when you're talking about bringing in Corey Davis not the only guy they brought in. I mean, Mariota must have watched the draft like a guy with a winning lottery ticket, because it's Corey Davis. They bring in Taywan Taylor, the wide receiver out of Western Kentucky. If you watched him play at the collegiate level, this guy was a man among boys. And, of course, the tight end, Jonnu Smith out of Florida International, another guy who can contribute, in theory, right away. This is going to give Tennessee more options besides DeMarco, DeMarco left, DeMarco right, DeMarco through the hole. So I certainly like what they did in the draft. And, of course, Mariota's a guy, 45 TDs to 19 INTs. He's been dynamite in the red zone, finishing the top 10 in red zone efficiency and completion percentage each of his first 2 seasons. But you look at the squad, what did they need more than anything? They might have needed defense more than offense. Although, when you look at the other teams in the division, Houston's got one of the elite defenses. The Jacksonville Jaguars, a team we talked about on yesterday's Sports Bit, has a vastly improved and potentially elite defense. And the new Colts GM, Chris Ballard, spent the whole offseason trying to work on Indy's defense. So all 3 teams in the division have kind of emphasized defense this past offseason. Tennessee emphasized a little more on the offensive end.
Yeah, so 10-5-1 to the over. They have a great offensive line, the exotic smash mouth with Henry and Murray, as we talked about earlier. Now you get more weapons from Mariota. Pretty good coaching staff as well. You want to touch on the schedule, or anything you want to add?
Sure. Well, let's talk about the offensive line. I mean, when you talk about the dominant tackles in football, Taylor Lewin and Jack Conklin, that is an elite duo of tackles that will allow Mariota, in theory, enough time to find some of these young receivers. On the defensive end, what they do? They signed the cornerback Logan Ryan as a starter. They signed the defensive tackle Sylvester Williams. And, of course, the safety, Jonathan Cyprien. That's 3 guys who should make that defense better. And we're talking about a defense that had hope last year. They were ranked number 1 overall in preventing in short yardage defense. Conversion rate is just 45% on 3rd, 4th down, or the goal line with less than 2 yards to go. So there's hope for that defense. But I don't know if there's any hope for this team if Mariota gets hurt. Do you see who their backup quarterback is?
Still Castle?
Yeah, they gave him a 2-year, $5.3 million deal to stick around. And, I mean, he's not effective in any scheme. And the thing that baffles me, he can't even remotely act like Mariota on the field. If you have a backup for this type of offense, which is fairly unique, I would think that you want a QB that can run it. Mariota's health of primary concern for the Tennessee Titans in 2017.
He got hurt in that Week 16 game, right? Against Jacksonville, and then Castle came in and was throwing pick sixes?
Yes, and the reports on Mariota is still recovering, still not 100%. So he's someone who you definitely want to watch and read about over the course of the next month or so. Be confident that he's going to be fully healthy from day 1 and stay healthy if you're betting the Tennessee Titans over their win total.
All right, strength of schedule. Last year, one of the easiest in the league. This year, still easier than average. If they face the NFC West and the AFC North, 2 extra games. Tough, though. Week 1, hell of a game. They play the Raiders at home, and then they go at Miami to take on the Dolphins. So you mentioned, as we can just recap the entire division here, but you mentioned how you like every team in this division. You got the news with Luck, though. Who knows if he's healthy and when he's going to start throwing. Jacksonville at 6.5, Tennessee at 8.5. You got Houston there right around the similar win total. What do you think?
I think that the value of all the value, Tennessee's a hot team in the markets already. Houston, not so much because everyone thinks that they're going to have QB questions, which they may or may not. Indy, not so hot in the betting markets because there have been so many concerns about how that roster has been put together. I have to tell you, I like the Jaguars, and I have to put I think that from a value standpoint, Jacksonville to win the division, Jacksonville over the 6.5, that stands out to me a little bit more than Tennessee. I'm very bullish on the Titans, and this Titans team has the potential to be not just good, they got the potential to be really good, but people are talking about Tennessee in a way that some of the other teams in the division, they're not. But again, when you live in Vegas, sometimes you get a skewed perspective on what people out in the real world are doing. I think this Tennessee Titan team has definitely potential to make people some money this year. I just don't think they're necessarily the #1 moneymaker in this division.
Hey guys, for the full video, go to sbrpicks.com.
Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to our channel. Now, we've put a lot of work into producing all these free videos, so please help us out and keep all our content free for you forever by simply liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. Now, not to mention, a visit to our industry-leading website will warm the hearts of all our SBR employees, especially myself. Now, the links are over there to the left, so do check those out. Thanks for watching.